All right, hello. Welcome back, everybody. It is now April in our. We almost have done a full year on this playthrough. So that's pretty exciting. Um, some of you have been here since day one, and I really appreciate all the support that this series has gotten. Um, as some of you are probably aware, we have a pretty small channel here, so seeing this kind of support and success has been really exciting for me. So this is our sunflower field that we planted in the last episode. All you missed, all I did off screen was water the cows and then simulate. Uh, and you can see just from looking here, there was a pretty big advancement from March to April. Our grass here in the meadow is good to go. We can cut that soon for to start getting some silage going. If I show you here on the map, you can see we've got our sunflower field, our barley field, our wheat field, and then this is about to be corn. And I think we're going to make this soybeans, I think was what we decided. Put some soybeans down there. So April is time to plant both corn and soybeans. So I do really like this tractor. Oops. But I was thinking I might use the 3088. If I can remember where I left it. Yeah, I had it over here because I was doing some work with the bales. But I think I might use it for this job. It's got a little bit more power. Actually, that's a good question. I'm curious as to how much more power it has than our. That'd be the 1206. So this one has. No, I don't want to sell it. I just want to see 120 horse. And this black stripe really has 179 horse. It does not seem that much stronger. I wonder if this will be able to pull it then. Now I want to know just out of curiosity. I really thought that this 3088, am I saying that right? 5088, I'm sorry. The 5088 had more horsepower. It sure seems to handle it like it does. Just like act like it does. And the thing is, I know I'm making a big rigmarole here, but if I do, I can always use the other tractor on the other field, is what I'm saying. I just feel like, we have these few tractors, and what ends up happening is I feel like I use the same things all the time. But really, with a farm this size, there's just a lot that needs to be done. Okay, so we want to go to corn here. How many loads of seed are we going to need? This should be interesting. All right, here we go. Corn straight in. Look at this setup. Is this not a classic setup? My goodness. 5088 with a 950 cyclo planter on it. With the farm in the background. I know the sun's on the wrong side. Maybe we can do something like this once we get up here. We'll monkey around with the picture later. Man, this is cool looking. I like the setup. Some of you that have been watching the series, you're watching this saying, "Wow, I remember when this was nothing but a fresh piece of land." I mean, I think it's probably the second or third episode we ran out here, and I was saying, what should we even do with this, right? You remember that? I was not sure. And then I got that shed, And I came up with the idea that we would, you know, have this be like the neighbor's land. And I don't know if that storyline is really held up. We're pretty much treating this like our own farm over here. What do you guys think? Is this the neighbor's or is it ours? Oh, that's interesting that it didn't plant over that mist spot. Hmm. Oh, I'm fading a little on this left side. So I think what I'm going to do, because we have room at the ends, is just not mess around with the headland on this. I think we have plenty of power, by the way, with this tractor. Come on, don't skip. Get over there. There we go. There's something about the travel on this that makes it a little bit challenging when you turn it around. It doesn't really, it's not straight because this top edge of the field isn't straight. And when you turn it, it kind of drifts, is what I'm getting at. Very, very interesting. So here's a question. Do I want to plant this and then fertilize it, or do I want to plant this and go straight down to plant the soybeans? I don't know. I never use the ridge markers. Do you guys use ridge markers when you play? I feel like a lot of times when I watch farm sim YouTubers, they don't use ridge markers, but they're using course play. So it's like, well, they don't need ridge markers because they've got a computer doing it for them. But in my case, I'm not doing either one. I'm just like eyeballing it, which, you know, sometimes the field turns out fine, and sometimes it looks like I had a few too many drinks before I started driving. Okay, let's shut that down there. Get a nice big turn. No, not that far over. It's like somewhere between the missing bits and the overlap. I want to just be up against it. Now I have to watch this right side. Try to keep that little wheel right on the edge. That seems to be where it plants. I think it's cool that they got the animations on all this. I mean, you could see as I hit these bumps, you can actually watch the machine reacting to the physics. I don't want to screw up my driving, but you see that? That's crazy. The level of detail on this game sometimes just absolutely baffles my mind. Also, by the look of the amount we're using this seed, we should be really close to being able to finish the field. Because I think we started with 700-ish. And we did 2 full rows already, almost 3. So even if we do 100 per row, will we do 6 more rows? It's going to be... I bet we'll need to get more, but that's alright, because we're going to need more for the soybean field as well. This is low-key pretty exciting for me. This is going to look so cool when the corn's nice and high. We go get the corn header for our combine. That's going to be awesome. To take a farm from just basically an idea, an open field and an idea, and actually have it functioning like this is pretty rewarding. I'm trying to think while we're doing this what equipment we still have to get. Well, the corn header, we'll need that. But we have a sprayer, we have the combine, We have a tedder because we already did hay. We have a way to get grass and silage. Maybe because our rake is kind of small, maybe we could upgrade to like the Vermeer windrower. Something along those lines would fit with this play style. I don't really know quite what else we could do, but I'm liking where we're at. I'll put it that way. I'm liking where we're at. Also, I have to say, the power on this tractor, if it's true that this is only 120 horse, it is really kind of getting every bit of that. We're getting our money's worth here. I wonder how many people watching this video are very irritated by this this slight little crook that I have in here. I bet a lot. Just straighten your rows. That's what I should have done. I should have just stayed on this left side. I should have just straightened that to the straight line on the map. But you know, how many fields in real life, in the pre-GPS days, how many fields in real life do you think were perfectly square? Probably not very many. I mean, I imagine a lot of farmers laid out fields with a surveyor, you know, based on property lines and stuff. That was actually something I thought about doing, finding a way to incorporate into this save. I don't know where on our map, but I thought about putting in like a locust tree border, because that was really common back in the day when people would, you know, they'd have a surveyor come out and survey their land, and then they would put in locust trees for the border rather than build a fence. And then once the trees got to be a certain size, they would cut the trees and use the stump as fence posts. Like, pretty smart idea, right? So I thought about doing something like that. Maybe with like our southern border, maybe I could do that. And we'll just agree to not expand that direction. Honestly, I don't know how much expanding I'm going to do. I really like the amount of land we have here for the size of equipment now. I like that we have like one little field here, and we'll probably expand that. The far right field. I need to come up with names for these. We got like, this is the big beef cow field. Get the little field over here. The lower field is the lower field. The grass field's the grass field. I guess it's just those other two that need names. Right now it would be barley and wheat, but I'm sure we'll plant different things in there. Maybe once I get the second one full length, I could just call them the twin fields. That'd be fun. We're at 235 seeds. I think we're just gonna run out. We're gonna have we're gonna be on our very last row, and I'm gonna have to go fill it up. Or do we just bite the bullet and go fill it now while we're at this end of the field? It kind of feels like the play to me. I really like how green this is. I guess I've not played this map in spring yet until just now. I've always played it in... Oh, I don't have to open it. Sweet. I've always played it in... You know, I started in August and came up, you know, through the winter. So, it's my first time playing Calmlands in springtime. It's just so green. The grass is so much greener. Okay, here we go. V and B. You know, the other thing I think would be interesting to break down, you know, I say all the time in videos that, you know, I wonder if people actually play the game or if they just like watching other people play it. And I would love to know the breakdown of people who watch and if they play what platform. Like, are there a lot of PC players, or are PC players like, I don't want to watch you play it because I can do this on my own, versus maybe there's a lot of console players because you don't have these mods on console and you wish you did. I'd be interested to know that. I know when I do mod features, that's one of the main bits of reaction and response and feedback that I get is console players saying, is this out on console? Which always makes me laugh, because if it was, you wouldn't need to ask me. If it was out on console, you would see it in your in-game mod hub. But you're asking me because you know that it's not. So you already know the answer. But that's alright. I appreciate the engagement, you know. Like any YouTuber, I'm always welcoming comments, questions, concerns, all the above. What are you guys thinking about our cornfield here? You feeling good about it? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty excited to be actually getting this done. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, why didn't you just do finishing the job and do this off screen? Or why don't you do time lapses like Daggerwin? There's a couple different answers to that. Mainly because I like doing this. And I have the assumption, maybe it's wrong, but the assumption that a lot of you guys like watching this. So yeah, some of our jobs I do as a finishing the job because they're either repetitive or boring or not that unique, but this is the first big field we've planted with this setup, and I really think it looks cool. Maybe this is a little bit here that I can clip and turn into a YouTube short, become famous. I can make a nickel off of this, which would be more than I've ever made on a regular YouTube video because I can't monetize. But that's not why we do what we do, is it? Is it? We make farm sim videos because we loves it. Alright, here we go. Get this turned around. Start heading back. Wow, that's actually pretty crazy how much that curves there. It does not like being half in the grass and half on the dirt. It's like tugging at it. Very interesting. This is gonna look so good when it's full grown. You know, part of what I'm contemplating, if you made it this long in the video, please feel free to give me an opinion on this, but I was thinking about getting the corn header for the chopper. Maybe do part of this field as grain and part of it as corn silage. I think that would be a neat little kind of role play thing we could add in, because there's a pretty good, you know, it's a pretty popular thing to do in the part of the country that I'm simulating here, that I'm, you know, even though this is a European map, I'm pretending it's like the Midwest, and a lot of corn silage around the Midwest. I could definitely see that being something that would happen on a farm like this. I mean, it seems a little bit silly because we have such an abundance of grass, But even if we just did like, let's say 2 forage wagon loads, right? That's a pretty good amount of, you know, whatever, 30,000 liters of 40,000 liters of corn silage, just to say that's in the barn mixed into their feed for the next year. Pretty fun idea. I haven't yet added mineral feed to my TMR mix, but I wonder if that gives a buff to the amount of milk that you get. I would imagine that's what it's for. So we could maybe think about that too. I haven't done anything, well, maybe my very first save when I was just getting acquainted with the game, but I haven't done anything with the stones. Maybe we could get a rock picker and one of the mods to make our own mineral feed. That'd be a nice thing to add to the storyline here. What do you guys think? Should I make another pass for that little bitty bit on the outside? I feel like the really serious farm sim YouTubers would 100% do that little bit. Maybe I should prove that I belong as one of the serious players by doing that. Alright, so we'll get this buttoned up and we'll run down to the lower field and get it all set up for soybeans. Yeah, that was the first time I thought about the mineral feed maker though. Creator maker? Because I think it's you know, it makes, it's like stone and salt or something like that. I forget what the mix is. So what's kind of crazy is it becomes our land, like right here. So this is also our land, this little clip right here. I don't know if we might want to put something in. I thought about maybe installing a shop to repair equipment. You know, because then it would be sort of along the road here rather than just putting it back by our barn. That could be fun. But before I leave this, I am going to put it on soybeans so that I don't forget when we come back. But I think this is going to do it for this episode. I know it was just this one job, but it was a big one, and it was very satisfying to get it done. I hope you enjoyed watching, and in the next episode, we may have a little bit of planting soybeans, or I might do this as a finishing the job, and we'll be on to the next job. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Bluebelly, and on this channel, I farm. Bye for now.